following program is a production of Ho'ike Kauai Community Media. Aloha Kauai, I'm Trisha Allen, honored by our visitor today, Elizabeth Agudong. She is Nani in the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, but you may have seen her in other movies like At Her Feet. She was also in a Netflix series on My Block and a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember off the top of my head. Aloha Kauai, I'm Trisha Allen, and you may recognize the woman sitting to my left. She's been in a few things on TV, most recently the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. I present to you Elizabeth Agudong.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so lucky to have you. Thank you for coming in. Now, you just came from HCT, which is Hawaii Children's Theater, and you are an alumni of Hawaii Children's Theater, right? What were you doing over there today?
I was going to say hi. They have the morning program. I would say we because I still feel part of the family, which is really cool. But they have the morning program and they do a bunch of improv. They basically kind of dip into everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the fall program. So I'll come back and say hi to the fall program kids who are actually doing Shrek Jr. this year.
Oh,
which is really exciting. Yeah.
Lucky kids. Now, is it kind of surreal going back there and like seeing all the little ones?
It made me so emotional.
Did it?
Yeah. My dance teacher, Carol Culver, is teaching some of the morning program classes and she's a part of the board. And she gave me this intro and it was beyond what I had imagined. And then she brought me on stage and then to introduce me. And then she was like, hold on, I have a little bit more. And she was basically like, I'm going to do it again. But she was like, it's just like an honor to have you back. And, like it means a lot. And, it's just like they're family. So it was like really surreal to come back around and like see kids that were my age at the time. And then like, know that some of these kids, will grow up and do the same things. And, and that I came from HCT and like, it is really good to be back.
I don't think they'll ever forget you coming in to talk to them because it's kind of a big deal. I'm not sure if you've heard, it's a big deal. And I have to be honest with you, everybody kind of like says, everybody I've talked to anyway is like, always says like how they know you, like, oh, Nani from Lilo Stitch. I know her from this or school or HCT or saw her at the gym, like that kind of stuff.
That means the world. Well, that's because it's the community is small, but like that's why, honestly, I think that's why I got here, really, is like because of like just the community altogether is so interconnected and like supported me in ways that I can't even imagine being here without,
Yeah,
so.
I think the island of Kauai definitely claims you and they feel like they're watching their family when they go see this movie. And so everybody's really proud. Everybody that I've spoken to has said how awesome it is. So, and I agree. Speaking of seeing you perform, we've got some old footage. We've got some old footage from HCT of some performances you've done in the past. I don't know if you remember being a lost boy in Peter Pan.
I do.
Yeah. Or I don't know who you played in Willy Wonka, but you were in Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I was the big blueberry.
Were you Violet?
Yes.
You were Violet Beauregard?
I was up for Violet. And then next thing I know, I booked the blueberry and then I was like part of the ensemble. They're like, but don't worry, you get to be in a big blue like fat suit or whatever and you get to be painted blue. And I was like, okay, I'm actually really down. And they're like, we'll roll you around. And I was like, awesome.
That's amazing. Sounds great. And then I also have footage of, let's just show you.
Okay.
Let's just show you. I have it all queued up here.
You have Shrek?
I don't have Shrek.
The Duloc dancing?
I wasn't sure. So we tried to comb through. Oh, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the other one that we have you in. So let's start with that one because that one's a little more recent. That's from 2017.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So here, let's see if this looks familiar to you.
I forgot wearing this. What?
Oh, keep watching. It gets better.
I was whipping my hips so much my dress would come off. Jeez. I so forgot about this dance, and it was one of my favorite dances, actually. Looking at this, like, good Lord. Like,
Carol did the choreography for that, right?
Yeah, she did.
There you are.
Oh my gosh.
Does it bring back memories?
It does. I'm like equally proud and equally cringing right now. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm also like, girl, my dance part of me is like, okay, constructive criticism. We need to like get a lot more strict on those hips. Like we got to like,
you know, notes.
Yes, of course. I think maybe that's the creative. I don't know, man. Wow, those costumes were great.
They really are. It was well done.
Fall productions are incredible.
They are awesome.
They're so underrated.
T does an amazing job on their fall performances.
I totally agree.
Here is Willy
and
Wonka.
After Dark and everything.
Oh, After Dark is so much fun.
What was this?
Willy Wonka.
I'm getting chills,
Are you?
dude. Yeah. I miss this so much. I miss everybody too. We had a really cool group. Man, man can. What the heck?
And
I think Peter Pan was one of my favorites.
Oh, speaking of Peter Pan.
Oh my gosh. I was telling the kids this morning, I was saying, that was one of the biggest things because I was bringing up Lilo and Stitch, right? And I was like, what is one of the main themes that comes with it? Or I was said, like, what are the main things that, like you love about Lilo and Stitch? And some of them are 5 and they're like, a theme. What's a theme? Like, and then they were like, Ohana means, I was like, yes. And we all said it together and we said like, Ohana means family and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And I loved hearing everybody say it together. And I just thought it was like, it's a cool tagline into it because I just wanted them to know and make sure that, they knew that the friends that they were making and the bonds that they were making here at HCT, whether or not it's the morning program or whatever, is so important because you grow up with them. They're the people that are going to help support you and that you're going to learn from and like that will have your back and that like you create those experiences with. Like backstage was probably one of my favorite parts about being a part of the shows, like the rehearsals, all of it. Just because like I was with the people that I loved, like they were a family to me and like they would pick me up when I fell and vice versa. And like, we had a lot of fun.
You felt really supported and loved.
Absolutely.
Aww. Well, here, this is when one of you guys shot Wendy.
Carissa!
My friend no more. Be good for me forever. She's crying. Well, then not forever.
She's crying.
For a whole week.
It was so much fun. Like, it felt like you were being a kid. And at first I was like, oh, I'm going to play a boy, a lost boy. And then I put on the wig and I was like, oh, dang. I was like,
good.
I was like, okay. Like, I was like, all right, I can deal with this. It felt fun because it was the first time that I got to like play around with something totally different than how I looked. Like completely shifting from a girl to a guy in that sort of way of just like being a lost boy, that was so fun for me. Cause then we were like, oh, we could get down and dirty and be like, yeah, we're one of the boys, and all of them were girls.
That's awesome.
So it was fun. And then Nico was the only boy and he played, oh my gosh, he played not Slightly Soiled, Slightly, maybe. And he was like Peter Pan's right-hand man. So it was really cool to just like have all of that dynamic and like, yeah, again, it was
that
a
like
crew.
one of the first times you remember actually like using your acting chops, like being something that you're not?
I think so, actually. Yeah. I think so because it felt like, there's something to be said about dressing the part, like I do think when people say like, hey, like fake it till you make it, like it is kind of like a correct saying. Like it does really work because you put on the heels and then all of a sudden you feel a little bit more powerful. I feel taller. I feel like, okay, I can rule the world. And then you like, you strap off and you go barefoot and you're like, yeah, I'm back to being my alien girl self. And like, I'm going to go play in the dirt now. Like, it really is, there's something to be said about it.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
and I, stepping into that and being able to play dress up and do all that stuff was so fun. Like I felt like, oh, it doesn't matter. Nobody's looking at me this way because we're all doing it together, you know? So it was cool.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you some scripted questions.
Cool.
Because, I have to pretend like I prepared for this. You were part of HCT growing up. What impact did those early theater experiences have on your path as a performer? Was there a particular show, role, or moment that lit the spark and kind of made you think, yeah, this is what I'm made for?
Yeah.
Was it Peter Pan?
I think Peter Pan was a huge part of it for sure.
Yeah.
I think Peter Pan is one of the ones that I remember distinctly, just because there was so much of that production just was everything that I loved. I really loved dancing. I loved being a part of all of the ensemble in that sort of way. I liked being able to like feel like I owned my own part and like I really wanted to step into a different character, and what better than to be a Lost Boy. And I think like, I of course wanted to be Wendy, and then, when I didn't get it, it was like, oh, bummer. But then I found such a huge light in being a part of such a huge, they were my crew. Like my Lost Boys were my crew. And like, it was all the people that I grew up with in school and in community programs and different things like that. And we were best friends, and it was really fun because then we could I think that was the first time that I got to learn how to improv too really well, because we were just having fun on stage. Yeah. Because we had to like keep things going as the Lost Boys. We'd always be like having tiffs and fights or whatever, and like
sort of like method acting a little bit.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so it was like, and then we got to do a lot of physical acting and physical comedy, and like we got to work with some pretty incredible Kauai talent, and like Frieden was who played Captain Hook. He was one of my like idols growing up because he was always so composed, so brilliant. He always had such a distinct voice, and he brought such a beautiful and strong character or take on Captain Hook. And I was always like a little bit daunted by it, but he was such a sweet soul. And then Carissa too, she just owned the role, and I was like, there's no way that like, that a girl could play this or whatever. And then she took that thought away from me so quickly, because I was just like, wow, she owned it. And I was like, no one could have done that better than her. And like,
sounds like you learned a lot.
I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Just from that one show.
Yeah. And it was a huge age difference too. We had the pirates who were like all high school, college, everything like that, and then all the way to like elementary, middle school. So it was like we had a whole line of family from start to finish of the ages, So I had big brothers, I had big sisters, and people that I still hold on to today, like the Olivers, Dexter Oliver, Burton Oliver. They're all still a part of my family, So
Really sweet.
Yeah,
I love that. Okay. Family. That's a huge theme, in both Lilo and Stitch, but it sounds like just your life in general, whether it's the theater or just your personal life. You do have a younger sister named Sienna, and playing Nani, who's a strong, protective older sister, coming from a real life sister duo. How did your own experience growing up with Sienna influence the way that you kind of approached this role as Nani?
Yeah, so my sister and I, Sienna, she's my full younger sister, and we grew up in the same household together. We grew up together doing the same, wanting to pursue the same career and stuff. I have two half older sisters as well that I consider just like my full sisters, but I didn't grow up with them completely.
Okay.
And so there was that sort of shift where once I wasn't a single child anymore, I felt very protective over my sister, and we obviously had our fights and whatever, and as you siblings do and stuff.
Yeah.
But like as time went on, I think there was always just that want and need to protect her, and I don't exactly know where that comes from, other than it's just one of your own, and I think that growing up together in that sort of way, I saw her mature so quickly. And I think like she also kind of inspired me a lot throughout my career. And I think bringing that into Nani, I just understood the idea of sacrifice along with my entire family. Like being able to pursue this type of career is not an easy task, and it's not something you can do alone. And it's something that you have to understand right when you start and continually practice, is like the idea of love and sacrifice and remembering why like you're doing it, and that you're doing it together. Because, you know, my dad would be home sometimes when my mom and my sister and or I were gone, and he would have to hold the fort. We'd have to figure out a line of communication, and vice versa. When I had gotten to a point of rejection where I was like, I'm done. I want to pursue high school and like have a normal childhood. I stayed back while my sister and my mom had to go while my sister was filming, you know, she was a minor. And so there was just a lot of sacrifice there. And I think that that really instilled a lot of that sort of idea into Nani's struggles too. And I think being able to put others first is something that Nani really holds on to, especially because she's about to lose the rest of her family. She already lost her mom and dad. The last thing she needs is to lose her sister, her lasting family. And I think everything else, all of her own priorities get put aside, as does every caretaker if they're, you know, put in that situation. Moms sacrifice a lot. And I think that I really took on to my mom too, and to get a lot of that as well. And I was inspired by her stuff in that sort of way. And it made me have a lot more of an understanding. I also just had to come back to my roots, really. Yeah. And remember what it was like to be an island kid again. Yeah. You know, and that was wonderful.
It's got to feel nice to be able to, you know, just be near home. And I saw an interview that you did where you talked about being able to take a 20-minute flight home after work is such an amazing thing.
Blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was stoked. It's like, if I need a breath of fresh air, I mean, let me say that being on the set that I was in, complete blessing. Couldn't have asked for something more perfect and more full circle, because I was able to not only be surrounded by the same type of community that I was raised in, but I got to expand it as well. And amongst TV and film, which I didn't know was possible, because at the time there wasn't a lot on Kauai. Right. And now we're finally building, and it's amazing because people are seeing it and people are supporting it. Yeah. And I think that, you know, it was really cool to be able to feel like I was at home, and we were building our own family on set too and off set. And then on the plus side, being able to go home if I really needed Kauai and I wanted my family and stuff like that, I could just take a 20-minute plane ride, go for the weekend, and come back, and I didn't feel like I was going to miss anything. Right. You know, so it was great.
All of the projects that you've been involved in, besides Lilo and Stitch, you've been in a project like At Her Feet, which was shot at the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Yeah. Both of these movies are rooted in Hawaiian culture. So according to you, what are some must-haves for a story to genuinely represent Hawaii in your eyes? Not just visually, but, you know, emotionally and spiritually too.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I think At Her Feet did a lot for me because it set me up. I don't think I would have been here or had gotten the role without At Her Feet either, because it kind of set me up in being able to have a lead role and understand what that looked like. And also really start to look at the morals and values of Hawaiian culture. And it's interesting because I was actually thinking about this the other day. I knew going into it, I was playing someone who was not from Hawaii. Okay. And she had a huge love and fascination and deeply rooted connection she didn't exactly understand to Hawaii. So it was one, I had to kind of dive deep into that, but I also had to take in what I knew as Sydney and what morals and values I knew as, again, we're talking about community, we're talking about family, we're talking about the spiritual essence and energy that is Hawaiian nature and just all of the mythologies and history behind everything. That's so culturally deeply rooted in the community. And I had to also look at it from an outside perspective who was looking at it from someone who's from California, you know? Okay. So it's there was a huge different expansion, I think, with that sort of thing. And I think a lot of what I gravitated toward was we were filming in National the volcanic national park. So,
which is pretty incredible.
Also very spiritual.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You felt the energy. And like, I'm going from Kauai, which is like old energy, deeply rooted, knows where it's at. It's like the wise kupunas, and
It's like a calmer.
it is, but it's so sturdy, and like it is not going to change. Like if you're not meant to be here, gone, you're done. Like, you know, but then at the same time, Hawaii's like the energy is new and fresh, and it's almost like it feels not feisty, I guess I would say, but like curious. And it's like, okay, I'm going to play with you on this and see who you are, what you're like, or whatever, as opposed to it's like the younger energy versus the older energy is like set in place. The younger energy is like, let's figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Which you felt between all of the island chains. And I think that was something really cool to kind of relearn the respect going through. And I had a co-star who was incredible. His name is Vene-chan. And he was a kupuna, and he would teach us a lot throughout. We had a Hawaiian consultant like throughout the entire thing, but we also had him. So we would come home and we were all staying in a group house, and we would almost like do like blessings and prayers, and then we'd sing Hawaiian songs, and he'd play ukulele, and then he would teach my co-star Noah, who had no connection to Hawaii whatsoever, but was fascinated by it. He'd teach him the foundations of how to respect. Take off your shoes when you're walking to the house. So it's like we did a blessing, we sang it out loud, and then we were able to walk through like the park, you know what I mean? And it really brought me back, and it made me feel like, even though I've been away for some time while I was trying to pursue acting, like I am able to like be here again and feel welcomed, and like and put my ego aside and just give respect and know that, you know, there's something to be said about Hawaii loves you because you bring in the love and respect and the family values, and it'll take care of you if you take care of it. And that was a lot of what I think was spread around, is like, don't touch the rocks, you know, all of that stuff. Different things like that, I think, really brought me back and gave me like a renewed sense of self and belonging again. So
it kind of sounds like the way that the project is creative is just as important as the project itself in terms of like respecting Hawaii and paying homage to it. And all
there's like, you know, it's like the cover of a book. Like, you know, it can look really glamorous, it can look really great and everything, but it doesn't matter if what's inside of it is fluff, you know, like it's got to come from you hear the writer, you hear their voice through their words. So it's just as much action as it is reaction, and you know, you walk the walk, you know, type of thing, not just talk the talk. So I think everything that we did was very purposeful and careful. And I think that was like one of the main things that we had to hold dear and near, and having the majority, if not all, of the creators be from Hawaii and local, that's instantly huge. Was a game changer. Yeah. So, and we're fully capable of it, and now the world is seeing it more, you know, which is really cool. Yeah.
Okay, you talked about writing, and I stumbled upon some things that you've written. Actually, just one thing specifically. Welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a song that you wrote by your alter ego, Jane Doe. Is that like a Hannah Montana kind of thing?
It is kind of, yeah. I guess so. Like, that's what I'm coming to realize, is it is kind of that alter ego, yeah.
It's actually a really good song.
Thank
and
you.
I don't mean to sound surprised by that, but I didn't know what to expect, you know? And it's on my playlist now.
Nope.
Yeah, I swear to God. And I started following on Spotify too, because there's a couple other ones you duetted with people that are pretty. I liked them. I thought it was great. It's like an alt pop kind of genre.
Yeah.
Is that the music you listen to?
I grew up, I mean, again, like Hawaii is such a culturally rich place that like music's everywhere.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, my dad is a huge music buff. He's still, I think, in the back of his head really wants to be in a band. And like one of my dreams is like to be able to bring him up on stage and like have him play guitar. Yeah.
So did he teach you how to play guitar?
He actually was the one who got me into singing.
You're kidding.
Yeah, because he would play guitar every morning. He'd like learn all of these songs, and he was a huge Eric Clapton fan, Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Beach Boys, all of them. And so he's got a lot of classics in there and had a huge wealth of knowledge there and just really wanted to play. And so one day he asked me over, he's like, come play with me. And I was like, I don't know any of these songs. And he's like, I'll teach you. And he grabs one of his ripped up books that he's got like tucked away and everything. And it was Eric Clapton. And the two first songs that I ever learned was Wonderful Tonight and Tears in Heaven.
Both very good ones.
Yeah. And I'm really grateful because I learned some of the greatest songs, and he gave me some good taste, I hope.
Yeah. I'm curious what the first like lyric or melody you wrote for Welcome to Hollywood was. How did that come about?
Oh yeah.
What sort of inspired that? Because
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
There's a friend or a lover to help me remember how good this all could be. 'Cause I don't even know where to start. I think I left my brain for work of art in Hollywood. And if I'm moving slow, I hope that I go far.
On the verge of wanting to quit and feeling like I was a small fish in a big, big sea, and was trying not to freak out about the fact that the culture shock was incredible and that millions of people are here and try to pursue the same thing. And I'm just this little island kid who is like trying to pursue that. And where do I even start? And it's already, at that point in time, I had already been going back and forth to LA since I was like 11 years old. Yeah. And then I stopped and kind of quit when I got into high school, because it was just, we didn't have online learning. Like we didn't have really like homeschool that way or dual stuff. So I was in a advanced math class, and then I would be taking my textbooks and then trying to like email my teachers and be like, do you know what the next segment is? And can you send me the test? And da. And then we'd sit like with my sister in the hotel room for 6 hours. We weren't like messing around or anything. When we weren't in workshops and intensives and auditions and stuff, we'd go there and like sometimes we didn't even have an audition yet. We just had a span of time that we were able to afford, and then we'd try to make it make sense and like would cross our fingers for an in-person audition.
It's like a whole nother level of angst to like add
hurry up
on
and
top.
wait.
Yeah.
It really is. And like the total, so it doesn't really help the whole imposter syndrome thing or like the idea of feeling like I don't know where I belong, or I don't know, whatever. But it's almost, it makes sense now. I get it now. I feel like had I had some sort of break or made something then I would not be the person I am today. I don't think I would have gotten Nani. I don't think I would have been able to handle it. I think like there's so much to go into why time happens when it happens.
Yeah.
So
It's really do truly happen for a reason.
It does. And that's a lot of what Welcome to Hollywood has to stand for, is like me coming to LA and having this big dream and everything. And I personified it as like a love story, the classic old Hollywood love story or whatever. But it was like my classic Hollywood love story to my dreams. And it's very glamour. Hollywood's got all of this fame, fortune, whatever. But there's not a lot of talk about the underneath, and it's really hard to truly understand until you're in that place of struggle. And everybody can relate to that, of like, it's different to know something and to understand it. And I had to kind of like come to the point of releasing, or rock bottom of releasing my idea of those dreams, and almost to the point of quitting. But I had to kind of kill that for myself in order to move forward and like have a rebirth of what the reality is and build off of what that could be too, So it was almost like I closed a chapter, and that was kind of like the idea of Welcome to Hollywood, of like, I'm calling to help. I'm calling for help. I'm like reaching this point, and also like, gosh, I hope that the time it's taken to get here is going to be worth it, because now I know it's not this easy, you know?
So far, so good. Woof. I mean, it sounds like So when I listened to it, it sounded like something, I don't know if this is going to sound weird or not, but to me, the song to me sounds like the way you feel once all of the like lights are off and the shiny things are gone.
Yes, totally.
Is sort of the
It's the
feeling I
reality.
got listening to it. Yeah.
But it's coming back to why you do it, you know? And I think that was really what I was looking for too when I was doing that song.
Yeah.
And I like was hoping that people could connect to it, whether or not they were in the arts or not. It's just whatever you love. Like,
Yeah. Hollywood could be anything for anybody. Just, you know, their dream.
It's a relationship. It's just a traumatic relationship that you're trying to work through.
Yeah.
And your career can be that. It can be, you know, like your romantic relationships, your friends, your family, yourself. And it's just, how do I get past this so I can grow, you know, and make this work, you know?
So now my question is, which one do you have a preference between music or acting, or are you like to want to do both, not willing to sacrifice one for the other?
Yeah, no, I've always had trouble with the question because I love them both in very different ways. Acting was my first decision as a child that was my dream I wanted to pursue. So I knew that going into it, brain, heart, whatever.
Yeah.
But music was something that was always there and with me. And I didn't think I ever wanted to pursue it because I didn't want it to get tarnished, because before I knew it, it was my therapy. And I know that that's said a lot, but it was something that like helped me come back to myself. And when I did try to pursue it, I wrote the song for a reason, you know, like I was starting to lose that, and it was scary for me because I didn't know where else to go, you know, and I think that song also helped me come back to myself in that sort of way, and that's why I do it. And I think that it's something that was always a part of me, and that's a part of my heart and my soul, and I think that that's the expression, and or that's like my inner truths coming out, whereas acting is the thing that I choose, if that makes sense.
The music's a little more personal and therapeutic for you, maybe?
I like that it's unpredictable for me.
Okay.
In a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm slowly getting back to it, I guess, with that question. Like I had to take a break from it for a while just because I was losing sight of why exactly I was doing it. And I was listening to a lot of outside voices, and I lost my own, and I stopped singing, you know, like, and I know that when I'm not singing in the car and singing in the shower, then something's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And or playing with my dad, I didn't get to do that for a while because I was gone. And now I'm finally coming back around, and there's not a lot of shame or guilt surrounding that. There's a lot of just like wide open, bright, like new world around me, but it feels like it makes sense now. And I feel like there's some like the quiet mornings or the very quiet nights where you're like, the world is asleep, so I'm awake, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I'm coming back to that. And I've been surrounded by some pretty incredible musicians recently in Hawaii, which has been the one thing I've really wanted.
That's amazing.
And it's been all in tune. So I'm stoked about that.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're coming back to it because you are really good at it.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I think that's it as far as those questions go, the hard hitting ones. Anyway, I do have some rapid fire questions for you, if you don't mind. Now that you're home, I'm not sure how long you're going to be here, but since you are here, your favorite beach to go to when you come home. I know there's a lot. It's going to be a hard one. You can do like top 3.
It used to be Allerton's. Now it's Pine Trees for sure.
Okay.
Because I love the North Shore. And then also too, Hannah, if I get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pine Trees and Haina then.
Yeah.
All right. Your go-to spot.
Oh, Holy Holiday. What the heck?
Oh yeah, Poli's a big one too.
It's just hard to get there, but camping? Yes. Yeah. Please.
Camping at Poli is one of my favorites too. I live in Kekaha, so it's like
there you go.
Go there quite a bit. I'm lucky. What's your go-to poke place? Where do you get poke when you're home?
I actually go to Pono Market a lot. Okay. Yeah,
that's
I really like that.
To get poke. What kind of
that
poke?
Or Safeway real quick and then go.
I mean, because their poke's decent.
I know.
It's not bad.
Like I have a really quick craving, gotta go. Oh, I have to get groceries? Okay, sounds good.
2 in 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock it out. What is one local snack you have to eat when you get home that you can't really get anywhere else?
Purikake party mix.
Ooh,
from Costco.
Yes. Oh my gosh, those so good.
Yeah, it's so
I
good.
buy those bags
I
constantly.
ate some for breakfast this morning.
Did you? Kauai hike that fills your soul. or your camera roll.
Okay, well, so a regular hike is Sleeping Giant because we're right there, and also it's like one of those burners, but it also is just like always really nice.
It's very doable. You don't need like a lot of equipment or anything. Mm-hmm.
But like my favorite is definitely, I don't do the whole Kauai, but I go to, it's Hanakaipeai Falls for sure. It feels like a reset for me.
That's a really good one. One word that best captures the feeling of being back on Kauai.
What?
One word that captures the feeling of being back home when you get to come back.
Blissful.
Ooh, blissful. Radio station that you grew up listening to in the car?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's Kong, there's Island Country Radio, there's, I'm gonna miss the other ones because I know the numbers more than anything.
And best shave ice. Where do you go to get shave ice?
Aloha Shave Ice.
You said Aloha Shave Ice?
Wailua.
Oh, Wailua Shave Ice.
I like the real stuff, like the Haupia foam and like the real juices are.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you. You should go get some if you haven't already.
Oh, yeah.
You've been back. And we appreciate you coming into the studio. We know your schedule is super busy, and I can't thank you enough for coming in. I don't know how to end this interview in a great way, but other than to say, mahalo for coming in. I appreciate it. All of us here at Hoike are very proud of you.
Oh, I'm honored to be here.
Stop. I was going to say that.
Too late.
Thank you, though, Sydney. Seriously. It's been really, really great talking to you today.
You too. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Okay. I didn't plan an ending.
No, so. I know. I'm always like this. I'm like,
yeah, we're just going to tie it up here. Ho'ike Kauai Community Media's president and CEO is Allegra Gaines. Administrative assistant, Leiko Someda. Production and education services by Roger Olson. Production and IT services by Max Richardson. News and events producer, Trisha Allen. County producer and social media manager, Olivia Franco.